The soft crackle of the fire filled the room, casting warm, flickering shadows across the walls. On any ordinary evening, this gentle glow might have been comforting, even calming, but tonight it held a sinister edge. I sank into the armchair, the worn leather pressing into my shoulders, and lifted the glass of amber whiskey to my lips. The burn as it slid down my throat was sharp, yet it was nothing compared to the firestorm raging inside me. Betrayal isn't something you digest easily. It lingers, gnawing at every quiet moment, and tonight, it had found its stage. For 7 years, Emily had been my world, or so I had believed. From the moment we met, I had built my life around her, proud to be her husband, devoted to her ambitions and whims. She had that magnetic charm, that effortless charisma that drew attention wherever she went. I had loved her with everything I had, sacrificing small comforts, little indulgences, all to see her smile. But 3 nights ago, the illusion shattered. I had found her laptop left carelessly open, the messages glaring at me with a cruel honesty. They weren't work emails. They weren't innocent chats. They were meticulously plotted encounters with someone named Greg, plans so explicit that my chest tightened with disbelief and rage. The hotel bookings, the flippant way she dismissed me, calling me nothing more than a dull, dependable fallback. It was as though my entire existence had been a convenience to her, and now she was discarding it. I had wanted to confront her immediately, to scream, to demand answers. But some part of me knew that such a confrontation would only lead to lies, denials, and more heartbreak. So I waited. I let the anger simmer, sharp and focused, until I could act with a clarity that matched the betrayal. When Emily returned that evening, radiant and cheerful as if nothing had happened, my heart had not wavered. "Hey love, I missed you," she chirped, tossing her suitcase onto the floor, kicking off her heels with practiced grace. Her smile, sugary and rehearsed, almost fooled me, but only almost. I remained in the armchair, glass in hand, observing her as she moved through the apartment. "Did you have a good trip?" I asked calmly, my tone intentionally neutral. There was a flicker of hesitation in her eyes, a brief break in the composure she always wore like armor. "It was productive," she said finally. "Tiring but good." She turned to the kitchen, expecting me to follow, to carry her bags or offer a small gesture of attention, the way I always did. Not tonight. When she realized I hadn't moved, she shot me a concerned glance. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Perfectly," I replied, letting the word linger in the air, deliberately hollow. She began to unpack, chatting about meetings, schedules, and deadlines, her words smooth and practiced. Each sentence was a reminder of the lies she had told me every day, the duplicity that had become her second nature. Then she paused, sniffing the air. "What's that smell in the fireplace?" she asked, a slight furrow of curiosity on her brow. I leaned forward, elbows resting on my knees, and let a slow, cold smile spread across my face. "Take a look for yourself," I said. Her expression shifted as she approached the hearth. The flames licked hungrily at the edges of photographs, curling the paper into blackened, charred remnants. Our wedding album, full of memories I had once cherished, burned with a crackling ferocity. Boxes of letters, anniversary cards, dried flowers, tokens of love that now felt meaningless, lay ready to join the fire. She stepped back, her face blanching as reality hit. What is this?" she whispered, her voice shaking. "It seems fitting," I said softly, almost conversationally. "These things don't mean anything anymore, do they?" Panic and confusion contorted her features. "What are you doing? Have you lost your mind?" I set my glass down carefully on the coffee table. "No, Emily. For the first time in days, I'm seeing very clearly." My hand moved to my pocket, retrieving my phone. I held up the images I had taken of her laptop screen. Recognition flashed across her face immediately. "Who is Greg?" I asked, my voice calm, icy. She opened her mouth, then closed it, words failing her. "It's not what it looks like," she stammered. "Really?" I said, raising a brow. "Because it looks like you've been sleeping with him, meticulously planning trips and deceiving me while calling me boring." "It was a mistake," she cried, tears brimming. "I was lonely, and you've been distant." I laughed bitterly, a sound foreign even to myself. Distant. I had worked endlessly to provide for us, to build a life we could be proud of, and that wasn't enough. My anger, restrained until now, surged like a tidal wave. It was a mistake? You planned an entire getaway, Emily. You humiliated me every single day with your lies. Don't insult my intelligence by pretending it meant nothing. She fell to the floor, sobbing, clutching at my words, but I felt no pull of sympathy. I thought about confronting you immediately, I said, pacing with deliberate, controlled steps. But then I realized, you don't deserve the courtesy of my outrage. You deserve to feel the devastation you've caused. She lifted her tear-streaked face. What do you mean? I moved to the mantel and picked up an envelope. I spoke to a lawyer, I said. Divorce papers are already prepared, with all the evidence attached. I've contacted Greg's wife as well. She's currently confronting him as we speak. Her eyes widened, horror mingling with disbelief. I placed the envelope on the coffee table, letting it land like a final verdict. You can't do this, she wailed. I love you. You loved the comfort I provided, I corrected, voice cold and unwavering. You loved the stability, not me. You threw away the one thing I required, loyalty. And for that, I have no patience left. I retrieved my coat and keys. You have until the end of the week to vacate this apartment. If you're not gone, I will change the locks. She called after me, desperate and pleading, but I paused only once. Where am I going? She asked. I looked back once, the night air calling me, the weight of betrayal lifting with every step. Anywhere but here, I said, and I left. In the days and weeks that followed, the divorce proceedings moved forward smoothly. Friends and family offered comfort, but I didn't dwell on their pity. I focused on myself, reclaiming passions and interests I had shelved long ago. Emily left quietly, her attempts to reconcile fading as she understood that I was gone, irrevocably. Greg's wife had left him, and rumor had it he was struggling to recover from the wreckage of his choices. As for me, the fireplace remained. I kept it not as a monument to pain, but as a symbol of strength. From betrayal's ashes, I had rebuilt myself stronger, wiser, and finally free.